Hello, and welcome to Precon Decon, the video series where I deconstruct the pre-constructed decks of Magic the Gathering's history. In this video, we're still looking at Khans of Tarkir. I'm going to move on. I'm going to look at Mardu Raiders, which is a white-black-red deck. Let's take a look at the deck list. So we've got 21 creatures, 10 instants, 1 enchantment, 1 artifact, 2 sorceries, and 25 land. Got a mana curve off to the side there. Let's start looking at the deck's contents. So, the Mardu. I really like their faction keyword, and it's so good actually. They came back again in Ixalan, as we'll see. So we'll look at Warname Aspirant. So 1 and red for a 2/1, which is, that's just fine anyway. That's Goblin Piker stats, and it can't be blocked by creature with power 1 or less, which is, a nice little, very minor evasive ability. But it has the Mardu ability, which is Raid. So raid is if you've already attacked with a creature this turn, you get the creature's raid ability, which usually means it's, well, you'll see. There's a whole bunch of different raid effects, which is really nice. It's a really nice, flexible kind of keyword to have. In this case, Warname Aspirant enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter if you've attacked with the creature this turn, so it can come in as a 3/2 for only 2 mana, which is really good. I say the condition is you have to have attacked this turn, so you didn't, you would like play this main phase 2. And I really like raid for the same reason that I like Bloodthirst, and I'm sure there's another one which I can't think of. I like it so much I can't remember it, but it's a mechanic that's also a teaching tool. That's why I really like it. As I've mentioned it before, but like when playing with new players, they sort of play everything main phase 1, do combat, and then end their turn. So these cards with raid kind of incentivize, like, oh, you should probably play stuff like post combat because it really benefits you to do so. And this is a great example of it. You play this main phase 2 after you've attacked, and you get a benefit of doing so. And I think it's just really fun, and also pushes you towards the deck strategy, which is constantly attacking anyway, because it's basically like a weenie deck. You kind of want to go wide and attack with lots of small creatures, and buff them up. So I really like the Mardu. I think out of the 5 Tarkir clans, probably my favorite, along with Abzan. I like both them like a lot. I think their mechanics are I just really like them. So we've got 2 Warname Aspirants. We've got 2 Mardu Warshriekers, so 3 in red for a 3/3. Has a raid ability when it ends the battlefield. If you attack with a creature this turn, add red, white, black to your mana pool. So again, this is like really nice. You could play maybe like a haste creature, main phase 1, attack with it, and then main phase 2 do Mardu Warshrieker, and you kind of like get your mana back. Because if you play this main phase 2 and you've attacked with something, this is essentially costing you like 1 mana for a 3/3, right? In a very roundabout way. Obviously you still have them with 4 mana to play it in the first place, but you can play something else and maybe get like another raid trigger, like Mardu Horde Chief, who's 2 and a white, so you could do Mardu Warshrieker and then Mardu Horde Chief in the same turn, which would be quite nice. So Mardu Horde Chief, 2 and a white for a 2/3, has raid. When it ends the battlefield, if you've attacked with the creature this turn, you make a 1/1 white warrior creature token. So it's not really in this deck, but going into the next set, there is a deck there's a lot of warrior tribal effects in Khans, which I really like, and there will be a deck focused all around that in the next set, which I'm really looking forward to looking at. Mardu Horde Chief, I think, is great. Again, like it's sort of a excuse me. This is it's a card where that's what I actually quite like about raid is that you can play the card without raid, and like it's not terrible. Like Mardu Warshrieker, like if you play it without the raid, it's 3 in red for a 3/3, which is like Hill Giant stats, right? Which is still like not amazing, but like it's not super overcosted. It's not terrible. Same with Mardu Horde Chief. It's 2 and white just for a 2/3 with no abilities, which is like not dreadful if you had to play it main phase 1. But if you play it main phase 2, then obviously you're getting an extra thing on the battlefield. Just get warrior creature tokens are good in this because they kind of expendable. You can attack with them, and that triggers all your raid stuff. So I think it's pretty good. We've got a single Timey Horde Mate, so 3 and a white for a 3/2. Has raid. When it enters the battlefield, if you attack with a creature this turn, you get a creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard back onto the battlefield. So I love this effect in white, where they get like a very limited reanimate effect, but usually only for small creatures. And a lot of the creatures in this deck are mana cost 2 or less. Which is good. So this is a really nice play to do, like get a 3/2 and also get something back. It's something, again, dead creature, maybe one that you've attacked with to be expendable. To maybe get a raid trigger, it comes straight back. If that creature you bring back also has a raid ability, then you get that trigger as well. So yeah, I think this is pretty nice. We actually would have liked to see another one in the deck. And then 2 Mardu Skull Hunter, 1 a black for a 2/1, ends the battlefield tapped. Has raid when it ends the battlefield. If you attack with the creature this turn, target opponent discards a card. So this would be actually really nice. I don't think, actually thinking about it, have you got in turn 1 plays for a haste creature? Because this has been really nice turn 2 play to get a 2/1 and a discard as well. That'd be pretty good. Yeah, I like Mardu Skull Hunter again. Obviously goes really nice with the Timely Horde mate as well. So yeah. And coming into play tapped is such a minor downside anyway. So that's pretty much all the raid creatures. Everything else in the deck kind of just supports that. It's just kind of cheap aggressive creatures. And Ankle Shanker is a very cheap aggressive creature. So 2 colors are red, white, and black. This is the foil face rare. The alternate art for this one, I think, actually is really horrible. I think the main art is much better. So yeah, 5 mana for a 2/2 with haste, and whenever it attacks, all your creatures get first strike and death touch on turn, which is like a huge benefit, like a really good board wide boost to give all your stuff first strike and death touch. Basically makes trading with them with your opponent blocking them really, really, really difficult. Yeah, it's just a really excellent. This to me is like a really good, solid, like casual kitchen table, like rare, because it's such like a strong effect and it's so hard to deal with. Like you only need to pop it off like once, and you can do it like on the turn you play as well because it's haste, which is really nice. It buffs up all your stuff that you're going to be swinging with. Yeah, I think that's like a really good rare to have in the deck. Then we got a single Firehoof Cavalry, 1 white mana for a 1/1, 3 in a red, gets +2/+0 and gains trample in turn 10. So it's really nice. It gets trample as well as the power boost. So that's quite nice. This is it's just fairly basic. I quite like it. A single Mardu Hateblade, 1 white mana for a 1/1. You spend 1 black to give it death touch in turn 10, which is again it's quite nice. Not as good as just a 1/1 that has death touch already baked in, but it's in white. What do you want? Yeah, just the option to give it death touch I think is pretty good. Again, just so it serves as a good deterrent, or it's going to get through kind of because no one wants to lose a blocker to like a 1/1 or whatever. So yeah, I think this is pretty good. I think it's all right. And then single Mardu Rough Rider, 2 a red, a white, and a black for a 5/4. When it attacks, target creature can't block this turn. Yeah, this is an effect you kind of want on a big creature actually. So get potentially like the biggest blocker they've got out of the way. Yeah, I think this is pretty good for like only 5 mana. I think it's all right. A single Valley Dasher, 1 red for a 2/2 with haste, has to attack every turn if able. It's alright, that's okay. We're still off the point where reds can just get a 2/2 for 2 with either no downside or an ability or whatever. This is okay, I suppose. 2/2 haste, and I don't like the attack every turn if able thing. I'd rather it be like it can't block. I think that's at least then you have some control over what you do with it. But at least if you're forced to attack with it, you're going to trigger raid abilities, I suppose, maybe. Yeah, it's okay. What I really like is Gurmag Swiftwing, though. So 1 in the black for a 1/2 has flying, first strike, and haste, which is it's cramming a lot. It's like baby vampire Nighthawk. It's just like keyword soup for only for a very limited amount of mana. Yeah, I really like this actually. Yeah, I think it's a fun like turn 2 play. It's like really evasive. It's got first strike. You can swing the turn you play it. Yeah, I really like Gurmag Swiftwing. Yeah, so I think it's a fun little card. And then 2 Borderland Marauder, 1 in a red for a 1/2. Whenever it attacks, gets +2/+0 to end turn. So again, tying into the deck strategy, like it's trying to push you to attack and be aggressive. This is fine. Yeah, it's fine. So it attacks and it becomes a 3/2, so it can punch up. Yeah, I think it's okay. Single Carrion Crow, 2 in a black for a 2/2 with flyer, comes into play tapped. So it's like essentially Black Windrake, isn't it? Yeah, coming into play tapped is kind of annoying, but it's not a huge downside. And it's nice to have the evasive creatures in this deck, so you can swing with them, maybe get through, do some damage, and also, again, pushes you to attack and get the raid abilities triggering. So yeah, this is okay. Same with Necrogen's Scudder, 2 in a black for a 3/3 with fly. When it enters the battlefield, you lose 3 life. Which is, I mean, it's okay. I mean, 3 life is not wonderful, as I suppose, but it is a 3/3 fly for only 3 mana. So I guess it's like aggressively costed. So it's okay. You're going to be wanting to put the pressure on opponent more. So you losing 3 life is going to be less of an impact than you having this on the board and potentially swinging into your opponent more than once with it, I guess. Two Golden Rough Riders, two in a red just for a 3/2 vanilla. Yeah, this is perfectly fine. Boring, but perfectly fine. Yeah, and then non-creature spells. So the other end of the deck is Crackling Doom. So one red, one white, one black. It does 2 damage to each opponent, and then each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power amongst creatures they control. So this is really solid, I think, at only 3 mana. It's doing a lot. So 2 damage to each opponent is obviously just very nice anyway. But then also making them sacrifice their biggest creature is is also really nice. I first time I read this, I assumed it was like symmetrical, like it would affect you as well. But no, it is just opponents. So at the very least, this is doing 2 damage. Just do 1/1. Obviously, it's a spell that really scales well the more opponents you have. But even just 1/1, it's 2 damage to opponent, and they kill their strongest creature, which is fantastic. I think. Yeah, really solid. Really solid rare. A single Mardu charm, so red, white, and a black for an instant. You choose one of the effects. It does 4 damage to target creature, which is pretty good, solid amount of damage. You put 2 1/1 white warrior creature tokens onto the battlefield, and they get first strike until end 10. So this is nice, nice little surprise blockers maybe if needed. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it, and they discard the card. So of those 3 effects, I think the first 2 are the best. The discard effect is okay, but I think it's really the first 2 effects which you'd probably be using the most when you play this, honestly. Single Arrow Storm, so 3 in double red, does 4 damage to target creature or player, and this is really cool. I really like that the Mardu keyword raid shows up on non-creature spells as well. I just think it's really fun bit of design. So if you're attacking the creature this turn, Arrow Storm does 5 damage to that creature or player instead, and the damage can't be prevented. So yeah, if you get the raid triggering off on this, then this is like a really really like good burn spell. Like 5 damage that can't be prevented to any target is really solid. Maybe a little expensive at 5 mana, but it's still common level. I think it's still pretty solid. I like it. I like it more than stuff like Lava Axe or something. A single Bring Low, 3 in a red, does 3 damage to that creature. If that creature has a +1/+1 counter, Bring Low does 5 damage to it instead. So this is very. I don't really like this. It's very expensive, like 4 mana to do 3 damage. And if it has a +1/+1 counter, it does like 2 extra damage, does 5. So like it's sort of offsetting the bonus toughness they might have from the +1/+1 counter. I do think it's just still very expensive what it does. Like it's still burn at the end of the day, isn't it? But it's just very expensive. I think it would feel very inefficient playing it. So yeah, not a fan of this one. A single Hordling Outpost, 1 and double red. You just make 3 Goblin creature tokens, which is perfectly good. Gives you more tokens on the field to be attacking with. Yeah, I think this is perfectly fine. And then 2 Trumpet Blasts, 2 in a red, attacking creatures get +2/+0 till end turn. Yep, again, plays in the theme that, hey, you want to be attacking, you want to be going wide. You got quite a few things that make tokens. So yeah, I like Trumpet Blast. This is, again, good. And having 2 of them is actually really nice as well. I like that. A single Lightning Strike, 1 in red, does 3 damage to target creature or player for only only 2 mana. This is this good effect. I see, like comparing Bring Low to this, I just would have preferred 2 Lightning Strikes, honestly. But it is. Lightning Strike is obviously perfectly serviceable. I really like it. A single Heat Ray, X in a red, does X damage to target creature. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Just a normal X burn spell. And a Smite the Monstrous, 3 in a white, destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. This is, it's an effect you kind of want this deck. Like most of your creatures are actually quite small, so being able to deal with like big creatures is pretty important. So yeah, I think this is fine as well. Yeah, it's okay. The white usually gets a spell like this in each block, don't they? Where it's X the Y and destroy a creature with a certain power. It's okay. Single Raise the Alarm, 1 white to make 2 soldier tokens. So again, more tokens for going wide and attacking, and yeah, it's great. Benefit from all your various buffs. Single Crippling Blight, 1 black mana, goes on aura goes on a creature, and it gets -1/-1 and can't block, so it's good. Get blockers out of the way so your stuff can get through. And a single Flesh to Dust, 3 in double black, destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated. Kind of expensive in my opinion, but it's still it's still removal without any kind of restrictions, so it's okay. Then we have the Mardu Banner, so the Mardu Mana Rock, so 3 mana, taps to give you red, white, or black, and you can spend red, white, black, tap it, and sacrifice to draw a card. Yep, perfectly fine. All these banners, I think, are perfectly okay. 2 Nomad Outposts, which is the Mardu Tri-land, so it comes in play tapped and gives you red, white, or black. Yep, perfectly good. The the normal like Gainland trifecta that we've seen in like these previous decks. So Bloodfell Cove, Scour Baron, Windscarred Crag, they all come to play tapped. They all give you 1 life, and between them they give you combinations of black, red, and white. So yeah, all perfectly really, really good mana bases in these Khans of Tarkir decks. I really like it. And then 8 mountains, 7 swamps, and 5 plains. So what could have been? Overall, I do think the card selection is pretty good. There is quite a lot of M15 like filler in here, in my opinion. Actually, could have maybe kept that to a minimum, or like well, there's 2 cards I think definitely should have been here. Just because it's like the only other cards that really care about attacking and raid from Khans. So I had Mardu Heartpiercer, which is 3 in a red for a 2/3, has raid. If you attack with the creature's turn, when it comes in, it does 2 damage to our creature player, which is like a really like solid effect for like 4 mana, and it's a 2/3 to come in and do a shock effect. So definitely should have had a Mardu Heartpiercer in here, and the Heartpiercer bow as well. 2 mana equipment. When the equipped creature attacks, it does 1 damage to target creature the defending player controls. So this would have been again like a good like incentive to attack and stuff, and you attack and like ping off like an X1 before it blocks or something. So yeah, I really think these 2 should have been in the deck in some way rather than I don't know, like the Carrion Crow or like the Goblin Rough Rider or something. To be fair, they are both uncommon, so you might have to do a bit of shuffling around to make them fit, but you can make it work. And then as an alternate rare, I'm not so keen on this as an alternate rare, honestly, but like, it wouldn't be a what could have been section if I don't suggest one. So I do like the Ankle Shanker, I do like the Crackling Doom. Maybe instead of the Ankle Shanker, this Butcher of the Horde. So one colorless, 1 red, 1 white, 1 black for 5/4 flyer. So like 4 mana for 5/4 flyer anyway is pretty solid. And it has this ability, you can sacrifice another creature, which is not difficult to do because you've got a lot of things that make tokens. You've got like Raise the Alarm, you've got Hordling Outburst, you've got a bunch of stuff. And you sacrifice a creature for free, no mana investment, which is good, and it gets your choice of Vigilance, Lifelink, or Haste until end turn. So you do this turn 4, sacrifice creature, immediately swing with it. If you wanted to, you could sacrifice like 3 creatures a turn and have it be Vigilance, Lifelink, and Haste until end turn. So maybe this instead of the Ankle Shanker, maybe that could have been okay. Just a possibility, I suppose. But overall, I think this one's pretty good. I do like the Mardu as a as a faction. I do think raid is like a really like fun keyword, and I was really happy when it came back in Ixalan and was used by all the pirate cards. I say just because I think it's like just a really neat, fun like keyword that has a lot of potential, and you can do a lot with it, and I think it's very flavorful. So overall, I quite liked this one. What are your thoughts on the deck? If you have any stories or thoughts or comments or opinions about the deck or any of the cards in it, stick a comment below. I'll give that a read. But I'll be back next time. Going to look at the last Khans of Tarkir intro pack. But until then, thanks for watching and listening, and have a great day.